Hello and welcome. I'm Brittany Elliott. I help mothers reconnect with themselves through self care so they can create a loving and fulfilling relationship with themselves. Thank you for being here. This podcast is all about simple, sustainable self care that will help you navigate your motherhood journey and thrive as a woman. We are all at different stages of our motherhood journey while overcoming different challenges along the way. And we are all women with passions, goals, gifts, and talents that didn't stop when our kids came into our lives. Motherhood is easy to get lost in, and it's a big change. Change is growth, and growth can be messy, exhausting, overwhelming, beautiful, and amazing. In each episode, I hope you find a healthy mix of inspiration, motivation, and accountability as you continue navigating your motherhood journey. This is what self-care looks like. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to What Self-Care Looks Like. I am Brittany Elliott. I am a self-care and mom life management coach. I help working married moms create simple, sustainable self-care routines that help them feel vibrant, empowered, and fulfilled in their daily lives. And the name of the game for me is really helping you to change or adopt a new motherhood narrative. And I'm so excited to be in season 13. If you're new to the show, my structure is I release episodes in season format, and it's 7 episodes per season. Our last session that we wrapped up was our Mother's Day series, and so we had 6 or 7 moms that we featured in that, which was great. It was really great to hear challenges that mothers other than myself are experiencing and overcoming, and also just hear some different stories. And typically it is just me, this is what you get, just conversations one-on-one with me. But this season, in season 13, I'm featuring even more guests this season to give you not just their stories and overcoming things in their motherhood journey, but also giving you some resources to help you on your path to reconnection. So before we get into the nitty gritty of what I want to talk about in this episode, I want to take it a step back and let you know a little bit more about who I am, what I do, and why Back to You in 5 really came to life. So I am a mother of 1. My daughter is now 6. I am married. And when my daughter was about 2 years old, I realized that I was experiencing an identity crisis that I now label as a shattered sense of self, because I really did not know who I was at that point, what my mission in life was at that point. I really felt lost, very disconnected from who I was, because I definitely dove deeply into being a mother. My pregnancy was not planned. Me and my husband, he's my husband now, when we conceived our daughter, we had not even, we didn't know each other for that long. We had been dating just a few months. So it was a surprise. And there was a lot of us still getting to know each other. So it's almost like our entire relationship, we've known each other as new parents and preparing to be new parents, which was a very interesting part in life. And I was the person who never really planned on having children. I knew that I wanted to have a life partner. I knew that I wanted to have a husband. That was something that was very much on my radar. And my plan was to decide, once I was at that point, once I found my person, if kids were something that we would do. And so that's not how things went. They did not go in that way. And part of, for me, children not being a part of the plan was because I honestly thought that I was a little too selfish to take on the role of mother. And it turns out I do have definitely some selfish tendencies. Also, though, I have a high capability to, or toward, selflessness. And when I had my daughter, I actually fell more into selflessness and really was so hard on myself for the idea of not wanting to have children because I felt like I'd be too selfish, was that I went all the way on the other end and I didn't leave anything for myself at all. So I essentially had lost myself within motherhood, but it really wasn't about my relationship with my daughter. At the time, it was really my relationship with myself and more about my approach to motherhood. And I was approaching it from that kind of old school or stereotypical or type of, like, like a narrative that we tell ourselves, that to be a mother is to be selfless and sacrificial and to be their person and to fulfill everything they need, and work hard, and you don't need a lot of sleep and get everything done at home, and work, be a working mom, outside of the home, take care of your child, take care of your husband, all of that. And then I really wasn't leaving anything for myself. And I also had not seen that really modeled in my life. So my mom, she worked two jobs after my parents divorced, and there were three of us, and money was tight. And so there were a lot of times where I saw my mother under high levels of stress, and me not understanding then how life worked. um, More of her stress was circumstantial. It wasn't just because she was a mother, it was because she was a mother who lacked support. So Back to You in Five was really born out of helping women with children to focus on the type of support that they need to show up for their children, show up for your spouse, but really be able to show up for yourself and stay connected to yourself, because it's very important for our children to have happy mothers, and to have mothers who are fulfilled and who are vibrant. We all have long days, and some of us have really long nights. And my daughter is 6 now. When she was younger, our days looked completely different compared to how everything looks now. But I feel that had I had more of a focus on me and my needs earlier on in motherhood, I would have been better off sooner. Now, when I'm amongst groups of women, especially moms, I feel that I truly do breathe and live in the element of self care and prioritizing me. And I was recently at an event. Maybe it was in May, might maybe have been maybe a Mother's Day event, and we were doing a lot of affirmations there, and it was a lot of self-centeredness, and it was a group full of women, and it was about self-care, and it was great. But I went as a guest to attend, because I like to go to different events and network with people, not just for the opportunity or prospect of finding clients there, but for me as a woman, as a mom, I like to go out and be with other women and other moms and make connections, which, yeah, I have to be more intentional with doing, because I work full time. I have a business. My daughter's even busier. My husband recently started his own business and he works full time. So our lives are busy. Our parents are getting older. They need more of us. And we're trying to do all these things. And we were at the point where we were doing writing affirmations. And one of the women at the table asked, what's an affirmation, or what are you writing? And I told her what I was writing. I just kind of explained just to my table what they were and what I was doing. And once they asked me what I did, which was a while after that, maybe 30 minutes after that activity we did, I said, oh, well, I'm a self-care and mom life management coach, and this is what I do. And they said, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I believe that you do that, because it seems authentic. So that for me, um, was very nice to hear in the work that I do on two fronts, because if I'm living it and breathing it every day, I'm hoping that to you, most of you are just listeners, but those of you who maybe see me in person really do feel like, okay, she's being very authentic here, which is always my goal. But also I'm able to, help others even when it's not in a formal way, And more importantly, I'm living it and making sure that I'm prioritizing me in those moments too, like my purpose for showing up to things. And so that was really fun. So with Back to You in 5 and the work that I do in the business and the work that I do for y'all and the resources that I provide, there are always opportunities for women to get together, mothers to get together, to do things that are really positioned more toward them. So it's all about positioning things back to you and your needs. And Back to You in 5 is really built around 5 wellness pillars. We have social wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, and intellectual wellness. Those 5 pillars of Back to You in 5, they all work together to help you feel the most whole as mothers. So when you're thinking about your self-care routine and thinking about your self-care activities, you really need to think about which one of these pillars is this activity going to impact. So if you're going to do a 15-minute workout, you know that that's going to definitely impact your physical wellness. But if you do that while you're listening to a podcast, like a new subject matter, then you're also impacting your intellectual wellness at that time. Or if you decide to do that while listening to gospel music, now you're impacting your physical and your spiritual wellness. If you do that 15-minute workout outside in nature, now you're back to spiritual wellness and physical wellness. If you do that walk with another person, now it's your physical wellness and your social wellness. If you do like meditation before or after, now we have your emotional wellness in there. So all of that is very important, because there are a lot of times where a big one for us as women and as mothers, we're trying to get ourselves back to the body that we once had. Our body changes a lot. And so a lot of times we're trying to push to lose weight. And you really kind of have to take a step back and say, okay, what does this weight mean to me? Why at this weight right now am I feeling so uncomfortable? How will it be better or different when I lose that weight? And understanding that your body changes as you get older, your body changes from childbirth, your body changes from stress. So we really need to be mindful of all of those things. Our emotional wellness too. If you are an emotional eater and you just want to work out and it's and then you emotionally eat your way up to canceling your workout, then you're not going to see any movement on the scale, because we still need to be working on that mental. So those are the sorts of things that I do through Back to You in 5, and it's mostly all through group coaching. So it's all about reconnection. So group coaching program is called Reconnect, and the next session, the next cohort is actually beginning in August. So enrollment is open for that. So if you are interested in having creating and building community with other mothers who have been struggling through self-sacrificing, getting lost in their daily routines, not having structure in a daily routine, I do invite you to join Reconnect. It's a 4-week group coaching program. We get together once a week for up to 90 minutes. There are homework assignments. We speak to one another. You will have assignments. You will have work to do leading up to it. A lot of it is reflective work, because it's all about reflecting, reconnecting, and really renewing the relationship that you have with yourself. So that's all about, maybe not all about Back to You in 5, but that's the maybe like little nugget version of Back to You in 5. So in this episode specifically, I wanted to talk about really just the concept of getting back to you. So I just recently went to a concert. I went to see T-Pain. I'm in the Pittsburgh area. He came to Pittsburgh. It was really something I did on a whim. He came on a Wednesday night. My friend texted me on Tuesday, so the day before, and asked me if I would go to this concert with her because she had an extra ticket. And I had actually had planned to go to a networking event. And by planned, I had signed up, paid for an event, but it was really like a professional networking event, like a panel discussion that I was going to attend. Um, but something about this concert, I kind of wanted to go. So I talked to my husband about it. Hey, she's invited me to this concert. I have this networking event. And he said, well, you haven't been out in a while, especially with your friends. And I hadn't seen this friend maybe since January, February. And he said, I know you're going to go to plenty more networking events because I try to go to at least one per quarter. So he said, because of that, I think that you should go to the concert with your friend. So I had childcare all set up. My husband was on board. So I went to this concert. I went to see T-Pain. And T-Pain is somebody that I listened to, most of his hits, especially when I was in college, because he was around like, you know, oh 06, 07, 08, like in the 2000s range. And then I know that he, really came back around when he won the Masked Singer, which was really great. And when everybody learned that he has such an amazing voice outside of auto tune. But the thing for me with being at that concert is I kind of forgot about all the hits that he had, like all the music that I went through college with. And there was just so much nostalgia, but from just being in that moment and hearing that music. And it was so moving because it truly reminded me of who I was. I would hear a song and remember, me and my friends from college were here when I heard this song, or I remember dancing to this song here, and I remember these things that I used to do, and I remember how much fun that I used to have. And that was very important. And it was a great reminder for me to bring to you, is that getting back to you is really about getting back to that spark in you that brings you joy and fulfillment. It's not necessarily uh, get back into the jeans that you wore before you had kids or anything like that. It's really about getting back to what brings you joy, what inspires passion in your life, what makes you feel vibrant, and what really makes you feel like you. Because in motherhood, there comes a time where you will feel like you've been a mother longer than you've been anything else. And I'm not at that point yet because my daughter is 6, but I know that time will creep up. And there'll just be, days and days turn into months, and then those turn into years that you've just been giving so much to your child or children. And the more and more you give, it's all really a trade-off. The more and more you give to someone else, without keeping it in check, could be the less and less that you keep for yourself. So doing things like going to concerts, but not just going to concerts, but even listening to music that used to bring you joy prior to you having children. Because I know for me, when I had my daughter, it was all any music that I listened to was, we were listening to Baby Shark and Coco Melon, because this was before like Gracie's Corner, but then that crept up, like that's kind of what she listens to now. And I really didn't listen to anything that I would listen to before, and I lost touch with music a little bit. Like I didn't know any of the new artists. And it's because I'm just like, oh, I'm just I'm just momming, I'm just doing things, and I have to be a mom today, so I'm not tapped into other things. But those other things are very important to what makes you you. So make sure that you prioritize truly getting back to you and understanding what that means. If you have some old hobbies, you used to draw, or used to bike ride, or you used to sing, or you used to like to go to concerts, or if you just liked to listen to certain artists, that you carve out time to do that. And that could be during your commute to and from work, getting back to reading books, working out consistently. The thing is, like, I work out, and I've worked out consistently for a while just because I want to take care of my body. Like I want to take care of my heart. And when I work out, I feel like I'm honoring my body for just, holding me up and getting me to the places that I need to go. But it's not always fun. I wouldn't consider working out necessarily something that I like to do. It happens to be a thing that I do to upkeep my body, but I wouldn't put it on a list of hobbies, I would say that reading is, and listening to music, and taking walks outside, writing. I really enjoy writing, those things. And when I had that shattered sense of self, like when I said when my daughter was 2, it was really because I had gone so long without doing any of the things that just made me feel like me, that just made me feel like Brittany, because I'm a mother to my daughter only. Motherhood is a relationship, and it's a relationship that you have with your child. When I go to work, I go to work as an employee. When I'm running my business, I'm running my business as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO. When I'm with my husband, I see him as my husband first. I see him as the man he is. I see him as my husband. And then I see him as a father, as like that tertiary level. And for women, a lot of times, it's like once we become mothers, like mother is one. It's like mother is the primary thing that we do. Everything stems from that. But the truth is, the woman we are is number one. And then the relationship that we have with our children, that's the mother relationship. And then our role in the relationships we have with other people is simply that role. I'm also a daughter. Like I said, I'm a business owner. I'm a sister. I'm a cousin. I'm all of those things. And all of my life experiences that I have had prior to ever becoming a mother are what made me me, and are what made me really, I guess, could I say, desirable to my husband, who is the one who made me a mother. So really think about that when you're thinking conceptually about what does it mean to get back to me? What does it mean to get back to you? And it's really about that spark, the thing that gets you excited, the thing that you are passionate about. And there are a lot of things that are exciting about our children. And there are a lot of things that are really fulfilling in the role as a mother, and to be able to bring life into the world and to be able to see that life grow and develop. But none of that happens without, our personality that we had before. And we have so much to teach our children that we cannot lose all of our experiences or forget about all of our experiences and just say, oh, well, now I'm just a mom, because you're so much more than a mother. You're a mother and all those other things. So make sure you stay connected to those other things, because it will help you show up stronger, better, more fulfilled as a mother. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today. Please like, subscribe, and share with another mom who you think would really, have a good experience from this episode and be able to take away a few of the gems. You can reach me at my website, backtoyouin5.com. And I know I talked about Reconnect. Cohort registration is open. You can enroll at backtoyouin5.com/reconnect. But I did want to tell you about this freebie I have. So, Reconnect is a paid group coaching program, but we did talk about the 5 wellness points, right? And where you are with your social, physical, spiritual, emotional, and intellectual wellness. So there's a free quiz on my website, backtoyouin5.com/quiz. It's an overall wellness quiz. It will help you to determine which one of those wellness buckets actually need to be focused on for you based off of how you answer this quiz. So definitely take a look at that. Take the time to reflect and answer those questions. And I will talk to y'all in next week's episode. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to What Self-Care Looks Like. Again, I am Brittany Elliott, a self-care and mom life management coach. I help working moms change their approach to motherhood so they can feel vibrant, empowered, and fulfilled in their motherhood journey. My group coaching program, Reconnect, is built around the 5 wellness pillars that will help you feel the most whole as you balance your motherhood role with your personal needs. So be sure to check in with yourself using the free wellness quiz at backtoyouin5.com/quiz.